the other day, but just this last few days for yourself, it just must have been like, I don't know, where your head's been, like, just give us a summary.
Been a whirlwind on it. I haven't really had time to sit and reflect on it because it's been one thing after another. Now it's all said and done. I'm sure over the next couple of days I'll sit back and reflect and think. Obviously, I've just gone through that, but yeah, no regrets from it, and I've enjoyed it all. Shame, obviously, couldn't pull it off because that would have been quite the upset and statement. But like I said, no regrets, and I'm glad I rolled the dice on it.
Let's talk about the fight. Obviously, yeah, you took it to the 9th round, and then yeah, you can see kind of what was happening. Obviously, a couple of knockdowns in that round, and he was starting to get to you at that point.
Yeah, it were just body shots. There were no conditioning there. On 4 days' notice, you ain't gonna have done your abs and stuff that you normally do for your 8 or your 10 or your 12 weeks. Saying that, obviously, no taking it away from Floyd, obviously pound for pound, 3-weight world champion. It might have even been a case that 8 weeks of abs might have not done anything, but like I say again, I'm glad I did it, and I'm gutted obviously I didn't get the win, but glad I come and did it.
How do you assess Shakur's power? Someone who's been in there, like I said, you've done the.
Now, this is Josh Padley, the guy who just finished facing SHAKUR Stevenson. SHAKUR Stevenson got the win. But like you just heard Padley, he said 4 days notice. You know, he didn't have the 8 to 12 week training camp. And, you know, you got that going on. And, you know, he didn't train for this fight. So, you know, he didn't really train for this fight. And for him to have 4 days notice and go 9 rounds with the pound for pound fighter, the guy who wants to fight SHAKUR Stevenson, you know, it just like what are these guys like? Honestly, what are they thinking? What is SHAKUR and these guys thinking? Because for somebody, and kudos to Padley, because 4 days notice, he was undefeated, you know, so SHAKUR did go up against an undefeated fighter. He went up against a guy that knows how to fight, that, you know, that gave him a run for his money. And like you just said, he was just saying the body shots, you know, SHAKUR's body shots hit you in spots that, you know, pretty much take the wind out of you. But let's go on. Let's keep listening to hear what Padley had to say.
Those rounds were in there. Andrew assess his power.
The shots weren't like hurting, and like where someone actually digs one in and bruises your rib. They were just taking the wind out every time. And then like the headshots and stuff, they weren't ever dazing me and stuff like that. It was just literally like I'll get winded every single time. But again, his punch accuracy is perfect. He was finding the shots, and even in times when I thought I'd have been able to counter his jab and stuff, he would just out of range, and then he was back in range and stuff like that. So yeah, world class fighter, isn't he?
On that last knockdown, you see when you're frustrated, you banged your hands to the canvas. What was going on in your head at that point?
It was because the shots, like I say, the shots weren't. After about 5 seconds, I were all right again. I could get the air back in, but every time it hit me in my stomach, or whatever, it was just taking everything I had in me out. So frustrated that the fact that why is this putting me down? Obviously, I don't want to go down. That's the first time I've ever been down in all my amateur and pro career. Like 31 amateur and 15 pro, I've never been on canvas. Even in all my spars and everything, never ever been on canvas. So it was a tough pill to swallow. And like I say, I was frustrated that I was down there on body shots that I felt like that shouldn't have put me down. You know what I mean? Because there were no pain afterwards. It was just the instant when he was punching me and knocking wind out of me.
You really.
So, does SHAKUR really have punching power, or does SHAKUR is very accurate in his punches, and when he hits you, like Padley just said, it knocks the wind out of you. And you're like, Schofield's dad said, you know, here's what Schofield's dad had to say.
Who did Shakur fight to make him elite? Because Top Rank then developed him strategically, getting him people he could beat up on, and he couldn't even beat up on them. He was running and everything else against C-level fighters. And he ain't no Tank Davis. He ain't knocking shit out like that.
So you have that in the mix, and you know, Shakur's, I guess Shakur's both of his hands got hurt. Shakur's hands got hurt, both of them. Now he was hitting Padley a lot, but as you just heard Padley say, he was hitting him to the body. So if Shakur's hands are that brutal that even though he was hitting Padley, hitting him to the body, and his hands was getting like abused up, and bruised and all this stuff. You know, Shakur is definitely not going to be able to do what he did to Padley to, I would even say, Keyshawn Davis or Gervonta Tank Davis. I don't even think he'll be able to do that against Frank Martin. I don't even think Shakur would be able to do that against Frank Martin, what he did to Padley. No way. Is Shakur a good fighter? Yes. He's a good fighter. He's definitely a good fighter. But Devin Haney, maybe Ryan Garcia, those are the guys that Shakur should be calling out. Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, even Regis Proje, like maybe even Arroyo Garcia. You know, he just won the belt from Pitbull Cruz. Maybe Shakur should be challenging Pitbull Cruz. He needs to leave Gervonta alone till he gets a little bit more experience. I did hear something in the grapevine that Shakur is looking to team up with Floyd Mayweather as far as getting help setting up fights and getting the hand therapy, because we all know Floyd Mayweather had hand problems, and he was able to maintain and get the job done and win all of his fights. And let's just bring it back. Floyd Mayweather went up against a guy that was an electrician too. Let's just say he didn't make it to the ninth round. Floyd got him out of there, and this is when Floyd was Pretty Boy Floyd. All right, everybody want the money, but they don't want to fight like Pretty Boy Floyd to get dudes out of there within 5 rounds or less. All right, so that's all I got for you guys. Like and subscribe to the channel, and this is Boxing Jab News TV. Peace.